Rain falls steady against the window. The city glows in gray, and I pull my coat tighter. My body aches from sleepless nights and endless care. Another double shift waits, another day to endure. The crosswalk light turns green. I step forward, lost in my list of patients and duties. A horn blares, sharp and desperate. I turn just as the white van skids toward me. The sound of tires screams louder than thought. Then weightlessness. Then nothing. When I wake, everything hurts. My leg feels heavy, wrapped tight in plaster. The ceiling swims in fluorescent light. Machines beep a rhythm I can't escape. "Don't move," a voice says softly. Lan sits beside me, her eyes red, her hair messy. "You're lucky," she whispers. "Broken leg, ribs, concussion, but you're alive." Lucky, the word tastes wrong in my mouth. I glance around. No flowers, no cards, no familiar faces. Only Lan, holding a cup of water with a straw. "Has anyone called?" I ask. Her silence answers before she does. "I told your mother. She said you'd be fine." I laugh, but it cracks halfway out. Fine, always fine. Days pass. Lan comes every morning, leaves only to change clothes. She brings magazines, soup, small talk to fill the air. I thank her, though I know she's exhausted too. No one else visits. The nurses stop asking if family is coming. One night, the pain is too sharp to sleep. I scroll through my phone, the screen cracked from the crash. No missed calls. No messages from home. Just silence. By morning, I'm numb to it. The doctor says I'll walk again, maybe in months. He calls it recovery. I call it isolation. Lan helps me sit up, careful with the wires and tubes. "You'll get through this," she says, voice firm. Her kindness is steady, real. It feels like the first solid ground in weeks. When she leaves for a coffee break, I stare at the window. Outside, people move fast, umbrellas like dark wings. Life goes on. Mine has paused, suspended in white sheets and beeping light. I wonder if anyone notices I'm missing. Probably not. At least now I see it clearly. The truth has always been there, quiet but sharp. I've been invisible for years. And for the first time, I don't cry. Instead, I breathe slow. Something inside me shifts, small but certain. Maybe survival starts like this. Not loud, not brave. Just the quiet decision to keep breathing. One heartbeat. Then another. Morning light spills through the blinds. I wake to the sterile hum of machines and distant footsteps. Lan sits beside me, typing on her phone, eyes tired but kind. "You slept a little," she says softly. "How long has it been?" I ask. 5 days, she replies, handing me water. 5 days since the van, the impact, the dark. I touch the bandages on my leg, feeling the dull ache beneath. It's real, heavy, permanent for now. Did my family call? Lan hesitates, fingers tightening around the cup. "I told them everything. Your mom said you'd be fine." My throat tightens. "Anyone else?" She mentioned I had an appointment, something about lashes. Lashes. I laugh, a dry sound that doesn't feel like me. The world blurs again, not from pain but disbelief. I press my hand to my chest. It hurts more than the bones. Lan stands, packing the small room. "You shouldn't be alone through this." "I've always been alone," I whisper. She stops, looks at me with something fierce in her eyes. "Not this time." Her words anchor me more than the IV ever could. Days blend into one another. Lan brings flowers from the rehab center, small wild ones. They sit on the windowsill, the only color in the room. I stare at them when the loneliness creeps in. At night, I hear the soft beeping of machines like a lullaby. Sometimes, I imagine my mother walking through the door. But it never happens. Even dreams refuse to pretend for me. One afternoon, Lan brings my phone and a small bag of my things. Found them in the ER, she says. I scroll through messages again. Nothing new. My heart sinks as I open the last thread with my father. Months old. He's across the country, probably thinks I'm fine too. Does he even know? I ask quietly. Lan frowns. Your mom handled your paperwork right. Yes, she always does. Her eyes narrow. That's what worries me. The next morning, she walks in holding my phone, expression sharp. I called your dad, she says. My stomach drops. You what? He didn't know. She told him you had the flu. My hand trembles. She lied to him. She lied to both of you. Lan sits beside me again, her voice gentle now. He's flying in tomorrow. For a moment, I can't speak. Tears sting, but I let them fall. I've run out of strength to hide them. When the nurse checks my vitals, she smiles at Lan. You've got a good friend, she says. I look at Lan through blurry eyes. Why are you doing this? Because someone should, she answers. Someone should care, even if it's not your family. That night, as the lights dim and the machines hum, I whisper to myself. This is the moment everything begins to change. Not because they abandoned me, but because I finally see who truly stayed. The hospital room feels too small tonight. Lan sleeps in the chair, arms folded, head tilted back. Outside, rain hits the window in steady rhythm. I stare at the ceiling, wide awake, thoughts racing. Something inside me won't rest. It whispers that I've been blind for too long. That there's something I need to see for myself. By midnight, the decision is made. Lan, I whisper, shaking her shoulder gently. She blinks, confused, then worried. I need to go home, I say. You're not discharged, she protests. I'm not staying. Not yet, I need answers. Her jaw tightens, torn between reason and loyalty. After a long silence, she sighs. Fine, 2 hours. The corridors are dark, only the machines glowing softly. Lan pushes the wheelchair, while I hold my breath at every turn. My leg throbs under the cast, but I don't stop. The night smells of antiseptic and rain. Outside, the cold air bites through the hospital gown. We move fast, like fugitives escaping a cage. When we reach the house, the lights are still on. Laughter spills from the kitchen. I freeze by the door, my pulse loud in my ears. Lan touches my arm. We can turn back. No, I whisper. I need to know. We slip inside quietly. The voices grow clearer with each step. My mother's laugh, soft, charming, too familiar. And a man's voice follows, low and warm. I know it instantly. Mr. Dung, my mother's old friend. He sent me birthday cards when I was a child. He shouldn't be here, not like this. Does Lynn know you're in town? He asks. Of course not, my mother replies, teasing. She thinks I'm at book club. She always believes what I say. Their laughter cuts through the air, sharp and cruel. Lan grips the wheelchair tighter. My stomach twists, dread rising like acid. Then I hear it. She takes after Mark, my mother says. Predictable, loyal. Unlike he murmurs. A pause, then his words drop like stones. Mark still thinks is his. Silence. The room spins. Lan catches me before I fall. My hands shake as I pull out my phone. I press record. Their voices continue, dripping with secrets. They speak of money, of lies, of 20 years of pretending. Each word carves a wound I didn't know existed. When I can't bear it anymore, Lan wheels me back. Outside, the air feels heavier than before. She starts the car, her eyes on the road. Are you okay? She asks softly. I stare ahead, numb. She isn't who I thought she was. Lan nods. Now you know. I clutch the phone against my chest. The recording still runs, proof of everything. The night has stripped away the last illusion. I used to think truth would free me, but it hurts more than the accident ever did. Still, deep inside, I know there's no turning back. The only way out now is through. Morning breaks gray and cold. I haven't slept. Lan stands by the window, sipping hospital coffee. "You're really doing this," she says quietly. "I have to," I reply. "I need proof." Her eyes soften, but worry lingers. "Then we do it right, no rushing." By 8:30, we're parked down the street. Mother's silver car pulls away from the driveway. Hair appointment, always at 9. I wait 15 minutes, counting every second. Lan exhales. "Let's move." Inside, the house smells of perfume and lemon polish. Everything is exactly where I left it. The table, the silver, the empty perfection. I guide the crutches across the floor, each thump too loud. Lan follows close, whispering, "Laptop." In her study. The desk gleams like a shrine. I lower myself into her chair. Password, too easy. My 1998. The screen unlocks, and my stomach twists. Her world opens in front of me. Emails, photos, receipts. I type one name, Dung. Hundreds of messages flood the screen. Lan leans closer, reading in silence. Years of secrets laid bare. Trips, excuses, plans hidden in plain sight. A folder catches my eye. RG. I open it. Photos spill across the monitor. Beaches, hotels, birthdays. In one picture, he's holding Maya as a baby. Another shows them at my graduation. My throat burns. "Keep going," Lan urges. I scroll back further. An old email surfaces, dated 24 years ago. "It worked. The test is positive. Mark will never know." My breath stutters. Lan's hand covers mine, steady and warm. "This is enough," she says. "It's only the beginning," I whisper. She finds a flash drive in her bag, hands it to me. We save everything, photos, messages, documents. Then I search one last folder labeled Personal. A scan of Mai's birth certificate appears. Father, unknown. I stare until the letters blur. Lan moves quietly, collecting hair strands from Mai's brush upstairs. When she returns, I seal them in a plastic bag. Back in the car, silence fills the space between us. I clutch the flash drive in my palm, sharp edges digging in. "What will you do now?" Lan asks. "I'll send it to him. My father deserves to know." The words sound foreign, powerful, final. Pain blooms down my leg, but I barely feel it. The truth burns hotter. Lan drives to a DNA testing lab, then the nearest FedEx. I send the package addressed to Mark, Seattle. Inside, 2 decades of lies and a chance for justice. As we leave the parking lot, the rain starts again. Lan glances at me. "It's over." I shake my head slowly. "No, it's just the truth finally waking up." Outside, the clouds split open. For the first time in years, I don't look away. The door opens slowly. My father stands there, older, smaller than I remember. His eyes find mine, full of shock and sorrow. "Lynn," he says softly. Just my name, but it carries everything he never knew. I reach for him, awkward in my cast and crutches. He takes my hand, holding it tight. "I came as soon as I read it," he murmurs. I nod, tears already threatening to fall. "I didn't want you to find out this way." He shakes his head. The truth had to come. We sit together for hours. Lan brings coffee, spreading papers across the table. Emails, photos, the DNA results. My father studies each one, jaw clenched, silent. When he finally speaks, his voice trembles. 20 years, he says. 20 years of lies. I open my mouth, but he stops me. "You don't need to defend her." "I'm not," I whisper. "I'm just tired." The plan forms quietly between us. No yelling, no chaos, just facts. We drive to the house in the afternoon. Lan follows behind, cautious, protective. The front door opens to my mother's practiced smile. She freezes when she sees my father. "What a surprise," she says, voice too bright. And you, she adds, turning to me, you should still be resting. My father doesn't respond. Is my home? He asks calmly. She's in the kitchen, my mother says, unsure. Good, he replies. We'll all talk together. The living room feels smaller than ever. Every corner gleams with my old effort. My father places a folder on the table. Sit down, Janice, he says, using her name, not her role. Her smile fades. Mai enters, confused, phone still in her hand. What's happening? She asks. My father opens the folder, sliding the DNA test across. Ask your mother, he says. The silence that follows feels endless. My mother's mouth opens, closes, opens again. Mai stares at the paper, eyes wide, hands trembling. What does this mean? She whispers. It means, my father says slowly, that I'm not your father. Her cry cuts through the air like glass shattering. My mother reaches for her, but Mai pulls away. Tell them, my father demands. Tears streak her face. It was before we married, she stammers. It didn't mean anything. My father stands, his voice low and even. It meant 20 years of betrayal. No one speaks after that. I sit frozen, my hands clasped tight in my lap. This is the ending I thought I wanted, but it burns. Lan touches my shoulder gently. Let's go, she whispers. Outside, the sky glows orange with fading light. My father follows, closing the door without another word. Days later, the fallout spreads fast. Headlines, whispers, humiliation. Mai blames me. My mother begs for help. I delete every message. The silence that follows feels clean. Painful but clean. For the first time, I owe them nothing. The truth has cost me everything I knew. And given me everything I needed. 3 months pass like slow rain. Seattle wakes with mist and coffee steam. I open my eyes to soft light filtering through gray clouds. No hospital beeps, no mother's voice. Just silence, calm and full. My leg aches sometimes, but it's healing. The scar feels like a line, drawn under my old life. Dad brews coffee in the kitchen, humming an old song. Morning, sleepyhead, he says, handing me a mug. The smell is warm, grounding. How's the leg? Better, I reply, almost normal. He smiles, relief softening the years on his face. We sit by the window, watching the city wake up. Boats drift across the water, slow and sure. First day at the new hospital, he says. I nod, feels strange but good strange. The apartment is small but alive. 2 mismatched chairs. Books stacked in uneven towers. Pictures we've hung together over the past weeks. Every wall carries laughter instead of judgment. It's the kind of home that doesn't need perfection. Just presence. After breakfast, I dress carefully. Navy slacks, cream blouse, the same color she once corrected. I catch my reflection in the mirror. The woman staring back looks familiar but different. Her shoulders straighter, her eyes steady. I fasten my badge, Linh RN. A name that finally feels like mine. Dad jingles his car keys. Need a ride? I can take the bus, I say. He grins. Let me drive you at least for the first day. We step outside into the cold, bright air. Leaves scatter across the sidewalk, gold and wet. He hums along to the radio as we drive. No questions, no small cuts disguised as advice. Only quiet pride filling the space between us. At a red light, he glances over. You know, he says, I bought some shelves yesterday. For what? For your room. Thought you might want a small library. My room, the words settle gently in my chest. A place of my own, finally. I smile. I'd like that. The hospital rises ahead, glass catching the morning sun. I exhale slowly, nerves fluttering in my stomach. Dad Parks turns to me. I'm proud of you, he says simply. Not for surviving, not for enduring. Just for being here. I squeeze his hand. Thank you. Walking toward the entrance, my steps are uneven but strong. The pain doesn't control me anymore. The past doesn't either. Inside, the air smells of sanitizer and hope. A nurse greets me with a smile. First day, she asks. Yes, I answer, first of many. When I look back through the glass doors, Dad waves. I wave back, heart light. For the first time, I feel forward motion, real and free. No more pretending. No more waiting to be chosen. This time, I choose myself. Evening settles over Seattle, soft and gold. I sit on the balcony, the air cool against my skin. The city hums quietly, alive but gentle. Dad's laughter drifts from the kitchen, mixing with music. It feels like peace, not silence. Lan's text arrives, miss you, coffee soon. I smile. Always I type back. The phone rests beside my cup, screen dimming to black. For years, I lived in someone else's story. Now every breath feels like mine again. The scars don't vanish, but they no longer define me. I've learned that family isn't blood, it's presence. It's the ones who stay when everything falls apart. Below, the streetlights flicker to life. I close my eyes, listening to the sound of rain returning. Not heavy, just enough to wash the day clean. Tomorrow, I'll go to work. I'll help strangers heal the way I learned to heal myself. The past no longer whispers my name. It's quiet now, resting where it belongs behind me. I raise my cup to the night and breathe. Not surviving. Living.